Hey everyone, I'm Jim O'Rourke for Closing Time, coming to you from our Philadelphia studios, and we've got your recent news about the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, the CFPB. If you are in the real estate, mortgage brokerage, title, or settlement services industries, time is running out for you to comment about the CFPB's proposed real estate settlement rule changes that will drastically affect your small business in the near future. By now, you should have heard of the many concerns regarding the newly proposed rules of the CFPB, as voiced by just about every industry association you belong, and from your software providers, title insurance underwriters, and other related professionals. The CFPB has set a date of September 7th, 2012, less than 3 weeks away, to close comments on parts of their proposed rules. The complete CFPB proposed rules, guidance, and clarification can be found on about 1,100 pages available on their website at consumerfinance.gov. Know before you owe. I know you're thinking the big organizations will be fighting this battle for me, and my small business comments will have no effect. What you may not realize is that you, as a small business owner, have the most clout in swaying the rulemaking process. The CFPB is one of only 3 federal agencies that is required by law to consider its impact on small businesses. Recently, on August 1st, the House Small Business Committee held a congressional hearing soliciting testimony from CFPB Director Richard Cordray. Chairman Sam Graves begins the hearing by outlining the concerns of the Small Business Committee.
We're seeking to determine the extent to which the CFPB is complying with another law meant to protect small businesses, and that's the Regulatory Flexibility Act. Much of the public attention on this rulemaking has been focused on the disclosure forms that consumers receive when they are taking out home mortgage loans. Our committee is interested in how the regulations will affect small business or small firms, those community banks, credit unions, mortgage brokers, mortgage companies, and settlement agents that will need to change business operations. They're going to have to upgrade software, retrain their employees to comply. And furthermore, the committee is looking at the quality of the CFPB's assessment of the likely impacts of the rule, as well as the alternatives being considered to lower costs for small firms. As the CFPB began developing this regulation, it determined that the changes would likely have a significant economic impact on a substantial number of small firms under the RFA.
A significant economic impact on small firms? Just how much will compliance with these changes cost your business? That was the theme throughout the congressional hearing.
The small businesses told us that smaller settlement agents can lose a half hour per closing because they struggle to understand various issues with the current rules, and that's multiplied across millions of real estate closings. So we took that insight in drafting our proposal, which now contains extensive commentary that details precisely how to complete the proposed forms. It also includes samples of completed forms. This extra material has become more specific in order to make it easier to implement the rules once they're adopted.
Later, he reaffirms the value of small business input to the rulemaking process.
As in everything we do, we're open to feedback and will continue to refine our processes as we gain more experience. The bottom line is we're committed to include small businesses in our rulemaking and to shape our proposals based on their input.
In these clips, Congressman Tipton and Director Cordray discussed the burden of regulatory requirements.
Recently, you were testifying today that the CFPB is taking some steps to be able to mitigate some of the criticism that you regard in some of the, is it the TILA-RESPA rule, is that how it's referred to?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it being 1,099 pages, and you put up a blog post that it was actually only 400 and some odd pages, and the rest was regulatory, just to be able to get some definitions out. Did you get feedback, and can you understand that for small businesses, when we start issuing 400 new pages of regulatory requirements, that this actually becomes a burden?
First of all, to sort of correct the record, there's about 200 pages of that is the rule. There are about 200 pages of guidance that we included in particular in response to input from small providers who told us that absent guidance and clarification on things, they found that they lost time trying to figure things out, trying to interpret it. That's what I referred to, up to half an hour per real estate closing multiplied by millions of closings.
At the beginning of your statement, you'd noted, made the statement, critical for people in government to know what makes small business grow. And you
Yes.
talked about access to capital. If those dollars are being spent more and more on regulatory compliance, $101 million, is that draining money out of resources that can be applied to be able to grow jobs, to be able to get people back to work and get this economy moving?
Congressman Owens also expressed his concern about small business compliance with the CFPB regulations.
Yeah, it's been my experience that settlement agents tend to be relatively small businesses, a couple of people. Mortgage brokers in small communities tend to be a couple of people.
Yes.
So that puts, I think as some of my colleagues were pointing out, some real burden on them in terms of compliance.
Everyone will have a chance to comment before adopting the final rule.
At this point, this is at a proposal stage. It's not yet a final rule. And so everybody's going to have a chance, including what I hear today, but also as we go through the notice and comment process, to give us their input, and we will take that into account on the final rule, including from the realtors, settlement agents, all of the people involved with these transactions.
And as the final clip presented here, Director Cordray states that there will be savings in every real estate transaction.
There's going to be savings in each real estate settlement closing, each one over time, that will pile up year by year by millions of transactions, and that needs to be taken into account as well.
I'm not really sure what he means by realizing savings. What do you think? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section of our YouTube channel. But please, don't forget to get your comments into the CFPB before September 7th, and then again before November 6th. The link to the comments page can be found on their website at www.regulations.gov. There are separate links for comments due September 7th and for those due November 6th. Well, that's all we have for our CFPB update today. Be sure to check out all of our future updates on closing time. I'm Jim O'Rourke. Thanks for watching.